everyone. Thanks so much for tuning into our WonderCon at Home panel, Calling All Book Lovers, a sneak peek at new books from Tor, Tor Teen, Nightfire, and Tor.com Publishing. Tonight, we're going to be talking about some of the great books we have coming up, and be sure to stay tuned to our social channels for our special WonderCon at Home giveaway. My name's Laura Etzkorn, and I'm a publicist at Tom Doherty Associates, where I work on, well, everything. I'm super passionate about true crime and furry critters, and you can usually find me petting my dog or playing Spyro the Dragon.
Hello, everybody. My name is Andrew King, and I'm a marketing assistant for Tor Teen and Starscape, and also Tor's school and library team. My side hustle is playing Dungeons and Dragons, and my side hustle is hundreds of hours of Among Us.
Hi all, I'm Giselle, and I'm a publicity assistant at Tom Doherty Associates, where I work on a variety of titles, mostly for Tor, Tor Teen, Tor.com, and now Nightfire. When I'm not working, you can find me obsessively scrolling through TikTok or rushing to a kickboxing class.
Hi, I'm Natasha. I'm a marketing assistant at TDA, and I work primarily on Tor book titles. If I'm not on Twitter tracking down every piece of Gideon the Ninth fan art I can find, I'm either celebrating Jujutsu Kaisen Fridays or playing FF7 Remake again.
All right, so starting off, Elżbieta Czerezinska is an award-winning and best-selling Polish author, and The Widow Queen is her first novel to be translated into English. Elle is the Polish Ken Follett, so you can expect rich, epic historical fiction. In this story, based on a real woman forgotten by history until now, Sviatoslawa's father, the Great Duke of Poland, sees her and her two sisters as three marriage alliances on which to build his kingdom. But Sviatoslawa has eyes only for her father's throne. Fans of Hulu's Vikings TV series will love this story about power, ambition, and sacrifice. The Widow Queen is available April 6th.
In this follow-up to Docile, author K.M. Sparrow brings readers a new fantastic standalone adventure in First Become Ashes. This is a riveting tale that will make you question what is real and what is magical. Lark has spent his life in preparation for a righteous quest to rid the world of monsters. But his world turns upside down when a series of unexpected and devastating events reveals that monsters aren't real, magic does not exist, and the pain Lark has endured has been for nothing. This immersive page-turner deals with themes of self-discovery, romance, and the search for truth. And just so everyone knows, there is a content warning for sadomasochism, abuse, and rape. It is out April 6th.
So, The Helm of Midnight. Marina Lostetter is making her first exciting foray into fantasy with The Helm of Midnight, which is the first book in the new Five Penalties trilogy. It takes the deliciously dark story of a legendary serial killer who stalks the streets by way of a death mask. The Helm of Midnight is a mix of Hannibal meets Mistborn with the tension and terror of Jack the Ripper, meeting the skillful world building of epic fantasy. The novel is bloody, ambitious, and awesome, and it will definitely keep you on the edge of your seat, so keep an eye out for it this April 13th.
2021 is set up to be an epic year for Charlie Jane Anders. She has not one, but two exciting new titles coming this year, oh my goodness, from Tor Teen and Tor.com Publishing. So you'll definitely be seeing much more of Charlie Jane later on in this presentation. But first up, we have our incredible YA debut, Victory is Greater Than Death. Buckle up your seatbelt for this thrilling sci-fi adventure set against an intergalactic war. Perfect for fans of Star Wars, Steven Universe, and Doctor Who. This is already a beloved favorite of countless YA authors such as Holly Black, Veronica Roth, and Amy Kaufman, just to name a few. Part space adventure, part action comedy, ditch your reality with this perfect escapist read when it releases on April 13th.
And I love that sparkling purple hair on the cover, by the way.
Be a baddie.
So, The Last Watch. Imagine the soldiers of the Night's Watch faced with the high-stakes politicking and interstellar action of The Expanse, and you begin to touch on the first entry in the Divide series. Author J.S. Dews, a cinematographer and screenwriter by trade, she even animated her own cover reveals, which you can check out on her Twitter, uses a flair for the dramatic to stack twist after twist, compounded by epic space battles fought by uniquely compelling characters. Get ready to join this epic space adventure on April 20th, 2021, and the sequel coming this summer. Or next summer.
So I'm excited because now I get to talk about Murderbot, and I love Murderbot, and this one is a Murderbot murder mystery. Murderbot has itself confessed, as a heartless killing machine, I was a complete failure. But someone else isn't. There has been a murder on Preservation Station, and it is Murderbot's job to solve it, which means that this time it has to talk to and work with humans. Fugitive Telemetry fills in the time between Exit Strategy and last year's Network Effect. And if you've never read Martha Wells' Murderbot Diaries, now is the perfect time to start one of my favorite series about a cyborg with laser arm guns and, unfortunately, a surplus of complicated emotions. Fugitive Telemetry is available April 27th.
It's always with the emotions.
It really is. Murderbot. And on the topic of heartwarming technological beings, we have the Catnet series. Catfishing on Catnet made a huge splash in the YA community when it debuted in 2019, collecting an Edgar and Lodestar Award, among many others. NPR said, "This book is perfect." So, yeah. And now, sequel, Chaos on Catnet, is just around the corner. This is a series about a sentient artificial intelligence that likes helping people and looking at pictures of cats. But even more, it's about identity. And one of the most authentic portrayals of online friendships I've ever read. We see questioning characters try out new pronouns in their online circle before moving into the big scary world and ponder about what it means to be themselves. Who is a sentient AI? And that's a question that's not just philosophical, because in Chaos on Catnet, it is AI versus AI as the gang tries to catch a mysterious online entity that's been hacking social networks to instigate real-world violence. You can read the whole duology when Chaos on Catnet releases, and the first book comes out in paperback on April 27th.
Next up, we have some things to keep calm and laugh on about. Joe Pera is a stand-up comedian and the creator, writer, star of the Adult Swim series, Joe Pera Talks With You. To know Joe Pera is to love him. If you're not familiar with his gentle, endearing, heartwarming comedy, just go find a YouTube clip really quick. I'm so excited that we're bringing his warm-hearted comedic stylings to the page in A Bathroom Book for people not pooping or peeing, but using the bathroom as an escape. This book is an illustrated guide for those who may need a second away from the party to gather their thoughts in the bathroom. We've all been there. A Bathroom Book and its accompanying illustrations by Joe Bennett feel like the warm hug that you sometimes need before you head back out there. Next, we have the paperback version of Stay Sexy and Don't Get Murdered. Get ready, murderinos. This paperback of #1 New York Times bestseller is hitting shelves near you this spring, and it includes bonus content that's never been seen before. Get ready for even more funny feminist advice for survival, both to help you in not getting murdered and helping you get a job and helping you work your way through your personal stuff and maybe pay your bills and have some friends along the way.
I couldn't be more excited for both of those books. I love them.
Truly same.
We're going to switch things up a bit. What if the KKK were very literal monsters? P. Djeli Clark is one of the most talented writers in the genre. His horror novella, Ring Shout, published in October, is a gut punch of a horror story that asks just this question. And this spring, Clark continues his radical reimagination of history in his debut novel, A Master of Jinn. It is set in Cairo in 1912, and Agent Fatma is the youngest woman working in the Ministry of Alchemy, Enchantments, and Supernatural Entities. But she's certainly not a rookie, and she's been called in to solve a murder that might have global repercussions. This is Clark at his best, and it is clever and funny, with characters both human and supernatural in a fully realized steampunk Cairo. If you love historical fiction and HBO's Lovecraft Country, I think you'll love this one.
The House of Always is the fourth epic fantasy in Jen Lyon's A Chorus of Dragons series, which began with her beloved debut, The Ruin of Kings. This series is in the vein of works by Brandon Sanderson and George R.R. Martin, and there's absolutely no better time to be catching up on this immersive and captivating saga. Make sure to check it out when it releases on May 11th.
Okay, for clarification, the sequel to The Last Watch is coming this summer. I just had to make sure, like, what year is it? Anyway. Last summer, you may have heard of a little book called Mexican Gothic, frequently touted as one of the best books of the year and a frequent flyer on the New York Times bestseller list. We are so excited to bring author Silvia Moreno Garcia into the Tor family with 2 spectacular reads. Certain Dark Things is a pulse-pounding neo-noir that reimagines vampire lore where vampires, humans, cops, and criminals collide in the dark streets of Mexico. We are also thrilled to publish the stunning repackaging of The Beautiful Ones, a charming tale of love and betrayal and the struggle between conformity and passion, set in a world where scandal is a razor-sharp weapon. This book is perfect for people who don't want complicated magic systems but love fantasy themes and a happily ever after. Check out both of these books in spring and summer of this year.
That cover is so pretty.
It's so good.
So, next, here's another great title that I'm so excited for. The Blackened Thief by Christopher Buehlman, which is set in a world of goblin wars, stag-sized battle ravens, and assassins who kill with deadly tattoos. There is a lockpicking, knife fighting, wall scaling, fall breaking, lie weaving, trap making, and some magic. So it is a fast-paced, action-packed, and as much fun as that sounds like it would be, and very tongue-twisting for my own time. Some folks in-house have said that this book is the coolest epic fantasy world they've ever seen, and we all work at Tor, so it's safe to assume we are familiar with a lot of epic fantasy worlds. I'm not usually a fan of fantasy cusses either, but the ones in this book are absolutely hilarious, and it's coming out May 25th.
Next, we have The Library of the Dead by T.L. Huchu. This one is Sixth Sense meets Stranger Things for readers of all ages. Ropa, a teen girl wise beyond her years, dropped out of school to become a ghost stalker. Now she speaks to Edinburgh's dead, carrying messages to the living. It seems harmless enough until the dead tell her that someone's bewitching children. Ropa feels honor-bound to investigate, and she'll need to call on the magic of her ancestral home, Zimbabwe, as well as her modern Scottish pragmatism, sorry, tongue twister, to hunt down clues in this world of dark, dangerous secrets. Woo! This one's on June 1st.
Perfect for the teens and the adults.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we have The Chosen and the Beautiful by Nevo. Nevo reinvents the American canon in this magical version of The Great Gatsby. She's geniusly reframed it as a coming-of-age story told from the perspective of a queer Asian-American Jordan Baker. So clearly, this is the better version. In Jazz Age New York, the rich are doing deals with demons, and at Gatsby's, you'll find parties where it's always 5 minutes to midnight and everything drips with money and magic. Jordan is a queer immigrant woman who must navigate life in this dangerous world where just being herself can doom her and find her own magic. Vo's prose is delicious and perfect for anyone who loved the magic of the night circus, the seedy jazz age parties of Babylon, Berlin, and gorgeous historical fantasy like The Queen of the Night. This one's out June 1st.
And we've gotten so much librarian love for The Chosen and the Beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Fantastic book. Switching tracks to talk about some more excellent YA, a best-selling author, Bethany C. Morrow, returns to the magical universe of her YA debut, A Song Below Water, and its highly anticipated follow-up, A Chorus Rises. It's an all-new tale that follows Naima Bradshaw as she uncovers the true power of her magical identity when faced with the threat of online radicalism against sirens. In A Song Below Water, which became an instant national bestseller upon its release this past summer, we saw it receive much praise from many notable YA authors, including Jason Reynolds, who called it beautiful and brilliant. It's a novel filled with magical black girls, fierce sirens, and one hot gargoyle, and the paperback edition of A Song Below Water releases alongside A Chorus Rises on June 1st.
Calling all den nerds out there, 2021 is going to be a very exciting year for you because the wait for the highly anticipated next installment in the New York Times bestselling Witchland saga is over. In Witch Shadow, war has come to the Witchlands and nothing will be the same again. This action-packed next book in the series is told from the perspective of fan favorite Thread Witch Isolti, who must choose on which side of the shadows her destiny will lie. In anticipation of the arrival of Witch Shadow, there's no better time for longtime fans and new readers alike to collect and catch up on the series, now with these beautiful, bold new covers. This tale of sisterhood, secrets, and dark magic is not to be missed, and I know a lot of fans are waiting for news on the series adaptation for TV, so stay tuned on Susan's socials for updates on that front.
All right, next is Star Eater, a stunning high fantasy novel with a gaslamp touch that slides effortlessly into horror. And just for clarification as well, the author is very adamant that this is not set in space despite the cover, so it's important to let everyone know that. Elfrida Ron, bureaucrat, priestess, and practitioner of cannibalistic magic, will avoid pregnancy if it kills her, and one way or another, it will kill her. Elfrida must question the power she was born into to choose her own fate. Star Reader really has it all. It's got doomed romance, spies, opulent parties, supernatural curses, a grim sisterhood of cannibal nuns, and even giant cats. I also 100% believe that this universe would make an incredible setting for a D&D campaign, fully playable as is. So come for the cannibal nuns, stay for the downfall of hereditary power, and it's coming out June 22nd.
Which is the perfect elevator pitch.
Yep.
Next up, we have The Empire's Ruin. Brian Staveley is bringing back the critically acclaimed world of the Unhewn Throne with the start of a bold new epic fantasy series. The Anarian Empire is disintegrating. The ranks of the elite Ketrel warriors have been decimated from within, and the Kenta gates are closed. In order to save the Empire, one of the surviving Ketrel, Gwenna, must voyage beyond the edge of the known world, but time is running out. Mark your calendars and get ready for The Empire's Ruin, which will be on sale everywhere July 6th.
Sarah Henning is back with the incredible sequel to The Princess Will Save You, a gender-swapped princess bride with a feminist twist. In The Queen Will Betray You, the realm of the sand and sky is up for grabs after thousands of years of political stability, and with a ruthless old king spinning webs, a widowed queen whose only credo is all kings must die, a runaway queen whose unexpected return upends everyone's plans, and a prince in waiting determined to wait no more. Princess Emeranda's only hope in the face of unspeakable betrayals, enemies hidden in the shadows, and insurmountable odds is the power of true love. This book is incredible, and it is kind of like Game of Thrones meets The Princess Bride with a fantasy twist, and it is out July 6th along with the paperback edition of The Princess Will Save You.
So, you may recognize Lucinda Roy's name for one of her many accomplishments as a poet, a memoirist, or even from her appearance on Oprah. But The Freedom Race is her first foray into speculative fiction, and I am so glad that she's entering the genre. This novel comes together with beautiful, gut-wrenching prose combined with a futuristic setting in the aftermath of a cataclysmic civil war known as the sequel. This is a slave narrative of subjugation, resistance, revolution, and hope, and is the first in a planned trilogy. It's coming July 13th.
Gosh, I'm talking about so many robots today, and I love it. Becky Chambers made her mark on SFF with her Wayfarer series, where her heartwarming style of space opera won over many fans and a Hugo Award, and also caused me to rebrand my Twitter into an Exit and Fleet Stan account for several months. Now she's back with the first entry to her new Monk and Robot series, A Psalm for the Wild Built. In this novella, we meet sibling Dex, a tea monk whose job is to serve people tea and listen to their worries. But Dex himself feels restless and implacably bothered, and an impromptu trip into the wilderness leads them to encounter a robot named Mosscap. It has been centuries since a human has seen a robot, since the robots retreated into the wild places to fade into legend. This novella is essentially an odd couple road trip with lots of tea, and it ponders what it means to be not necessarily human, but alive. It's a sweet book for seekers of small comforts, which we could all use a little more of, and it is available on July 13th. And speaking of books I love, some people are extraordinary, some are just extra. Lambda Literary Award-winning author T.J. Klune's YA series, The Extraordinaries, tells a queer coming-of-age story about a fanboy with ADHD and the superheroes he loves. Nick Bell is not an extraordinary, but he does have a ton of engagement on his cringy Shadowstar XOC self-insert fanfic. And when he finally meets his favorite superhero / mega crush, the Shadowstar, Nick decides he must become extraordinary, even if his bow tie wearing best friend and kind of love interest Seth Grey doesn't approve. What can I say about this story? Nick's relationship with his dad is unexpectedly and extraordinarily sweet. Nick is a total chaos gay. This book will make you laugh and probably cry, and also delightfully cringe so hard that reading it is technically an ab workout. The Extraordinaries flies into stores in paperback alongside its much anticipated sequel Flashfire on July 13th.
All right, so I could talk about this next book forever, but I'll do my best to keep it short and snappy. She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan is Mulan meets the Song of Achilles, and it really is as good as that mashup makes it sound like it would be. It's an alternate history about the origins of the rise of the Ming Dynasty, starring a genderqueer main character, Shu, who steals her brother's identity and his fate of greatness to make her own way in 14th century China. It really has it all. Page-turning action, incredible slow burn romance, war, intrigue, and literally everything in between. It will rip your heart out and put it back. So let's all just comfort each other this summer after we read it, coming July 20th.
So good. Chef's kiss. Prepare yourself for her queer, badass cowgirl energy in Charlotte Nicole Davis's thrilling conclusion to their Good Luck Girls duology. Set in an alternate Wild West, The Sisters of Reckoning is a fantasy adventure featuring a diverse cast of female outlaws on the run from human and inhuman forces. Along the way, these young and fearless women will forge friendships, overcome tremendous loss, and encounter unexpected love. Now with an incredible brand new illustrated look, this is an exciting time for new readers to dive into this harrowing journey of revenge, freedom, and justice. The Sisters of Reckoning releases on August 10th, and as you wait for the sequel, check out the new paperback edition of The Good Luck Girls.
I'll never forget reading that entire book in one night and just kind of looking up and it's 4 a.m. and I was
so good, so unique. Oh, she kills it.
Yeah. For those of you who cannot stop rewatching Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel, your next obsession is The Endless Skies. Shannon Price introduces us to Rowan, a young warrior of the Leonidai line in possession of elite martial prowess and shape-shifting magic. She's willing to risk everything to save her beloved floating city, determined to. When disaster strikes, she will strike back. Inspired by classic Greek history and overflowing with stellar action sequences, romance, and as much female badassery as 304 pages can hold, this is a YA novel not to miss. The Endless Skies is available August 17th.
I told you Charlie Jane would be back. Let's talk about her second book of the year, Never Say You Can't Survive. This one is a departure from her other works, a nonfiction how-to book about the craft of storytelling, filled with memoir, personal anecdote, and insight about how to flourish during even the most difficult of times. Get ready to be in your feels with this one on August 17th, 2021.
Do you like shapeshifters, epic quests, magic, dark forests, and obstinate princes? The answer is yes. Forestborn is for you. From former tour editor Elaine Audrey Becker comes a lush YA fantasy debut about a shapeshifter named Rora on an epic magical quest through a dangerous forest in hopes of saving her kingdom and best friend Finley from a magical illness. Perfect for fans of the Hazelwood and Wicked Saints, in this story, to be born of the forest is a gift and a curse. Crafted with lyrical prose and gripping twists, Forestborn is out on August 31st.
If it is a devil you seek, then it is a devil you shall have. Dark fantasy artist and author Brahm spins a haunting tale of triumph and terror set in colonial New England. An ancient spirit awakens in a deep wood where the wild folk call him father, slayer, and protector. If you ask the Puritan colonists, devil, demon, slewfoot. When Abatha, recently widowed and vulnerable among the unflinching piety of her village, reaches to him for help, they ignite a battle between pagan and Puritan that threatens to leave only ash and bloodshed in its wake. If you loved 2015's The Witch, then we do have a delicious tale for you, and you can read it when it releases on September 14th.
And the cover.
And the cover.
Gorgeous.
Next up, we have a title that I am so personally excited about, The Last House on Needless Street. This one is creepishly devastating, which is a phrase I made up just for this. It's a gripping psychological horror novel that keeps the twists coming up until the very end, exploring the lengths we'll go to protect ourselves from dark truths. I'm someone who's notorious for guessing the ending of horror novels, and I did not see this one coming, so definitely check it out this September.
I am so personally excited for this novel too, and it's not just because I thought about having my wedding at a haunted house. Definitely didn't do that. Not at all.
Definitely did.
Okay. Nothing But Blackened Teeth is a gorgeously creepy haunted house tale steeped in Japanese folklore and full of devastating twists from rising horror star Cassandra Croft. Friends gather at an abandoned Heian-era mansion for wedding festivities, but lurking in the shadows is a ghost bride with a black smile and a hungry heart, and she gets lonely down there in the dirt. On sale October 19th, this is such a perfect read for Halloween.
It's so good.
Incredible.
So now that we're almost 3 full months into the year, we'd love to shine a light back on some of our books that have already come out. So first up, Winter's Orbit by Everina Maxwell. In case y'all didn't know, space is gay. We are thrilled to bring Winter's Orbit, a romantic and gut-wrenching debut from Everina Maxwell. Ancillary Justice meets Red, White, and Royal Blue in this trope-tastically epic space adventure. This book has everything a fanfic lover could want. Arranged marriage, there was only one bed, we must huddle together to survive in the cold, all your favorite tropes. Well, I hope at least some of your favorite tropes.
All of them.
All of them.
Next, you've probably heard of Sarah Gailey by now. If not from their hot debut Magic for Liars that came out last year, then from their incredible Tor.com publishing novellas such as Upright Women Wanted and River of Teeth. Gailey is back with another incredible story, this time asking the question, what would you do if your husband was cheating on you with you? Renowned scientist Evelyn Caldwell is known for her incredible work in genetic replicas and cloning, but drama unfolds when her husband Nathan steals her research to cheat on her with her own clone. A confrontation leads to murder in Sarah's suspenseful new novel, on sale everywhere right now.
Sometimes you just have to sometimes you have to throw the whole husband away. Listen.
Sometimes you just got to commit murder.
True. All right. And last on this slide is Remote Control by Nnedi Okorafor. Okorafor is an award-winning and best-selling author of Binti and many other books. And here she's writing a gorgeous Afrofuturist story about a Ghanaian girl who becomes a bringer of death after finding a glowing green seed in a meteor shower. It's got a powerful and complex female protagonist, and Nnedi's world building of a near future Africa is incredible. This is a brilliant work by a master of the genre, and I think it's a must read for both adult and young adult readers alike.
All right, and continuing with a few more recent releases that you can pick up in stores now. Who's ready for a space race with aliens? A History of What Comes Next by Sylvain Nouvel is an action-packed sci-fi epic that provides a darkly satirical look at 1940s rocketry and follows 2 warring families as they face off across history. It's perfect for fans of Andy Weir and for any dads out there who can't resist a great spy thriller. Happy eventually Father's Day, Pops. You are getting this book. If you're even remotely a fan of space opera, Arkady Martine's incredible series has to be next on your TBR. In a memory called Empire, an ambassador from a station on the edge of space has to find a way to survive in the capital of a galactic empire where everyone seems to want her dead. It's got political conspiracies, diplomacy, high-stakes assassination attempts, characters that you're begging to just kiss already. Also, space was, is, and here continues to be very gay. And the sequel is even better. A mysterious and dangerous alien armada lurks on the edge of space. No one can talk to them, no one can destroy them, and so our favorite ambassador is brought in to communicate with this hostile enemy.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but my TBR just got a lot longer.
Yes, it did.
And so we hope you've enjoyed our preview event. You can follow us on social to keep updated on all of our new and upcoming releases, and stay tuned on all of our social channels for our special WonderCon at home giveaway. Thank you so much for your time, and happy reading.
Happy reading!
Woo. Yay.